it's Coach M here. Before I tell you the number one mistake that you're making with your teen, I want you to know that parenting is the toughest, most challenging job on the planet. We all know this. It's exhausting and downright demanding of our time, our energy, our money, all of our resources, actually. And we love our children like no other. And we all are doing the best that we can to be great parents for them. The problem is we're often faced with challenges in parenting that we've never been confronted with before. After all, we're caring for and guiding and nurturing this human being that's separate from us, but a part of us that we are responsible for, that we worry about constantly. A part of us that we hope grows up to be a kind, loving, productive member of society. Someone who will always treat everyone with respect and have the utmost integrity. Someone who lives up to their potential and gives back and contributes to the world in a positive way. Wow, that is a lot of pressure, and it's too much pressure for anyone to handle. Yet we feel we have to handle it. We have this child who needs us to teach them and make sure they're behaving the way that they should. But what if I told you this is the number one mistake that you're making? I can already imagine what's going through your mind. What? She's crazy. Of course, that's my job as a parent. How can that be the number one thing I'm doing wrong? This is the problem. Your belief that you have control over your teen's behavior, attitude, and emotions, and what they do or say is a complete illusion. You have no control over any of these things. You might think that if you tell them what to say or do or how to behave and they actually listen to you and do it, that, oh, then you must have had some control over them, right? Wrong. In that moment, you were able to influence your teen, but you never had control over them. So let's talk about what you do have control over and what your teen has control over. You. You only have control over your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior. And your teen only has control over their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. So you wanting to control your teen's thoughts, emotions, and behavior is what's causing the battles that you have with them. It's creating a lot of the talking back, the rude behavior, the disrespect, because you are trying to control them. And whenever you do that, you're going to get resistance. So let's put ourselves in their shoes just for a moment. Would you really want someone demanding you to do something or always correcting you or shouting or yelling at you or berating you for making a mistake? You may be having thoughts like, well, if they would just do what I asked the first time, I wouldn't have to nag or yell. Or I can't allow them to be disrespectful and rude. And I'm not saying that you allow rude behavior or that there shouldn't be consequences for certain actions. What I'm saying is the constant need to put demands on them, to try to control them, is ruining your relationship with them. Essentially, it's ruining your chance to have some influence in the decisions that they make, in how they decide to process their emotions and what behavior they'll engage in. Once you let go of the illusion of control and remember that they are in control of their behavior, not you, then you can shift your mindset to one of partnership with them, not control. So let me explain. Instead of trying to control them, you're actually going to create a partnership with them. You're going to create really a business transaction with them. You're going to take the emotion out of their behavior and treat it as you would a business transaction. Again, they are in control of their attitude and their behavior, whether they want to study and do well in school, whether they do their chores, whether they act respectful or not. And you are in control of your emotions and behavior. And that behavior does include the privileges that you allow them to have that are not necessary for their survival. So, this is where it can get a little tricky. If you're arbitrarily taking privileges away because you're frustrated, you're upset, or you want to give them a consequence, you're not going to have much influence on them when the time comes that they really need your guidance or advice. They'll only see you as someone trying to control them, and they won't trust you enough to come to you when they need you the most. So again, you want to create a give and take partnership with them, similar to a business transaction. No emotions involved with the transaction. You actually want to put your emotions back into nurturing the relationship, not the give and take transactions that need to occur. So in order for this business transaction to work, you have to remove the emotion that you feel about what they are or are not doing. And the key is that you set up the business transaction ahead of time, not in the moment of frustration or anger. So here's how it works. You first talk to your teen about the expectations you have. You then ask them if they feel they're reasonable. This part is crucial and you don't want to skip this step. Remember, this is a partnership, not a dictatorship. Dictatorships are based on control and they don't work, as we know. So this is where you want to make sure that you hear your teen out fully. If they don't agree with some of your expectations, ask them why they don't agree and what about the expectation isn't sitting well with them. You might be surprised at what they tell you. Sometimes we as parents are so focused on what we think is best for our teen that we don't realize that we may not have looked at the situation from their point of view. So make sure that you stay open to hearing them out and really thinking hard about what they're telling you. Remember, you're treating this as a business transaction, meaning a give and take partnership. If you allow your teen to have some say in the final decision, they'll be more likely to follow through and do what they agreed to do. An example would be this. If you want your teen to start helping around the house, you could provide a list of chores and talk with them about needing everyone to contribute to the household chores and duties. Then create a list divided into easier chores and harder chores, and go through the list with them, asking them which one of the easier chores they want to do. Once they choose an easy chore, then you choose an easy chore that you'll do. Then have them choose a chore from the harder list, and you follow by picking a chore from that list as well that you'll do. And you continue with the list until all of the chores are divided up. Obviously, if there are other children in the house, it's important that they're part of the process too, so that your teen doesn't feel like they're the only child who has to do chores. Now, once your teen has selected the chores they're responsible for, again, they're choosing the chores they're going to do, you'll want to talk with them about when they think the chores should be done. Again, you're asking for their buy-in here, so that they know the expectation because they helped to create it. The idea here is to reach a negotiation, just like you would in a business transaction. If they say the chores should only have to be done once a month, and you want them done every week, you have to reach a compromise. Again, give and take. So once you've reached a compromise, then you ask what should be the consequence if you or your teen doesn't keep up their end of the bargain. This is important because you're including a consequence for yourself as well. And it shows your teen that this is a partnership, that you're not just trying to control them. If you're not sure how to get a conversation like this started with your teen, check out the video here, and it's also linked in the description down below. Remember, you want to stop trying to control them and start building a partnership with them so that you can have a chance to influence them when it really counts, when they're struggling with a really big problem or wondering how to handle a tough situation. Those are the moments when they're really in need of your guidance and help. But if you're still trying to control them, they'll shut you out altogether, and you won't have a chance to influence their decisions at all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like it, where I give you the tools to help you navigate the teen years, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click on the bell icon to get notified when I upload a video. And I do upload videos weekly. Remember, your goal is to create a partnership with your teen, which will lead to a deeper, more connected relationship with them. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you in the next video.